say shunning is inhumane, I want y'all to repeat after me. Y'all ready? Let's go. Shunning is humane.
Shunning is humane.
Shunning is inhumane.
Shunning is inhumane.
Shunning is inhumane.
Shunning is inhumane.
I know y'all can do better than that. Come on. I want y'all to say it like it's the first day you just realized that the rug had been pulled from underneath you. I want you to say it like this is the day that you got the call that your loved one had committed suicide. I want you to say it like it's the moment that you realize that every opportunity that you could have had was taken from you. You didn't make the choice. It was taken from you. You didn't know you was being programmed. You didn't know you was being brainwashed. You didn't know you was being gaslighted. So I want you to say it like you mean it. Shunning is inhumane. Shunning is inhumane. Y'all, get in your feelings, okay? That's how we ignite change. No standing around on the sidelines. Get involved. Get into it. From the bottom of your feet to the crown of your head. Come on, shunning is inhumane. Thank you.
All right, what is up, you guys? How's everyone doing? That was a really good video. I got some clapping going on. I got like a little audio interface right here. What's up, everyone? Can anybody hear me? Who's on? Oh my God, the views are piling in already. Jeez. What is up, Ryan? Go ahead. Walk your pickles. That's all good. It's gonna be a good day because today we's about to get it popping. I got it's gonna be a really interesting day today. Literally nothing is planned out. This is literally us being spontaneous. That person you saw at the protest, this was the protest of 2023 at the White House, is Miss Rita. She is backstage right now. We're going to talk about her story a little bit for those of you that couldn't make it to the protest and could not watch the video that I did and Justin did. We recorded the video live. We recorded the protest live. And for those of you that missed it, we're gonna be here talking about it and talking about her, who is incredibly special. She rounded up the crowd. We even had random people show up at the White House and just sit and listen only because of her. And because of her, we had a lot more people. And she's a very special person. I can't wait to introduce her to you guys. But in the meantime, I want to shout out my drink for today. I'm going to be drinking some alcohol with Miss Rita because it's going to be fun. We're going to throw in some jokes. We're going to have some funny banter, at least on my end. I'm not sure if she's going to be doing the same thing or not, but we're going to be sharing some things, sharing some links that she has out for us. It's some information on the protest for this year and some other things. Pretty interesting stuff. But anyway, let's throw her on here. She's here on backstage. Miss Rita, are you ready? She's being funny. All right, here we go. What's up?
What's good? Thank you for having me.
Yes. I just realized my okay. Nah, I don't look as silly right now.
You're so funny. Get your Mickey Mouse on. We love it.
Yeah, I just realized with my shades, like I could just throw in like a some beach background. My wife had told me that last week, but I forgot about it. But anyway, yeah, welcome to the show. This is gonna be, like we said, random, right? We did not rehearse this backstage or anything, right, Rita?
Yeah, we said, grab the shades, grab the sips, let's go.
Now she's formerly known as Ivy.
Ivy.
Well. Mm-hmm.
Rita's more like we break bread together. Ivy is, you just know me as Ivy, and I will correct you. So be prepared for that.
Yeah. Devin's on. What's up, Devin? And we have a few people on as well. And so, Ivy, I would love to pull up my little questionnaire. It's funny because I wanted some cards, right? Like, how like Fallon's got those cards.
The little cue cards.
Yeah, the little cue cards. And just like, okay, reads it and then tells you what the joke's going to be or the question or whatever. I had that planned, but Man, it's been a crazy week. How's it
Girl.
been? How's it been? How's your week been? Because out here, we're in Massachusetts, so it's been like hot, cold, hot, cold. How's it been over there?
So I'm,
You're in
I'm down here
Florida?
in Florida, Tampa
Yep.
Bay. Yep, and it's kind of the same here. Like today, I believe the high is like 91, and then in the evening though, it'll calm down to maybe like 62. But it's that beautiful, calming night air. It's refreshing after a really long hot day. So the
Mm-hmm.
weather's been cool. Finally, we're done with pollen and the crazy love bug season because
Ooh.
it's crazy. If you've never been down here, love bugs, they literally be flying, mating through the air. Like literally they're attached to each other, just flying in love, and then they get all over your cars and stuff. So I'm glad that's over with. I was like, too much love in the air.
They're in a constant honeymoon stage. So I see what are you drinking? What are you drinking?
Wouldn't you like to know?
I got something right here.
Hey, look, cheers. You ready?
There they go.
There we
Boom.
go.
Yeah. I got dang, what was the wine? If my wife is watching, no, I didn't even send her the link to this
Is it like a
video.
sangria or a Merlot? What's the flavor?
Uh, mm, yeah, it's definitely like a Merlot.
Oh, yeah, because probably a Merlot or a red blend.
And I'm gonna actually send my wife a link to this show today because I completely forgot, so she can also watch it. Um, so Ivy, before we get to the protest,
Yes.
um, let's talk about it. Actually, let's
Yeah,
forget
let's
about it.
do it.
Let's just go right into it. So the protest. So a lot of people are confused because people are saying that Justin was the one that kind of did the protest. Some people are saying that it was other people involved. What can you tell us? How'd that all start?
So, from what I've learned after being involved in the process and being asked to speak and meeting all of you beautiful people who share a similar story as mine, is that the primary organizer, the brainchild of the protest is Be Free. And then Be Free enlisted the help of others to execute the different operations or logistics of the protest. And that's going to be the same for this year. Be Free, it's her show. We want to continue to support her because of her goals is to have government, have legislation look into the funding. We
Mm,
know when you're talking about fraud or misappropriation of funds and even the child sex abuse, along with the suicide, those are hot topics in our particular country that usually gets the ears of people listening, right?
mm,
Not really about doctrine. There's enough of that floating around. And so that's what she wants. She wants to bring awareness to the major issues. And I believe this year she'll even be having like a protest planning committee. So that way she can have the hands on deck that she needs. And also for us to be able to get it out there to more people, more allies, not just this niche community, but
mm.
people who have been indirectly impacted by it as well. So
Okay.
it's going to be a good time. We're shooting for September the 13th, which is
September
a
13th.
Friday.
Okay, Friday.
hmm
I
There
see.
will be a Google form coming around just for people to register so we can get a head count. And that'll help us prepare for security, know where we can park, like the whole situation.
Mm,
Last year we had people there from out of the country, right? And so it will be nice to be able to, and not only entertain them, but maybe get a relationship with a hotel or something, because people may use it as their holiday, right? Their vacation.
right.
So just trying to think of all those like nuances. And of course, having you on deck shooting live, capturing the footage.
Heck yeah,
Uh,
man.
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna bring better equipment than now next time. And
Listen,
hopefully it's not cold
I
either.
didn't know the difference. Okay. So just know that what you did have was sufficient. All right. Now, if you want to step your game up, I'm all with that. Right.
Like,
But it worked last year.
like I don't know if you can see me here, man. Like, I can you see my mouse? Does it show?
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say it's wiggling.
So you see this? You see this little man right here? That's me, guys.
You are so funny.
And I don't know what. Okay, first of all,
I'm like, what
there's
are you
no way
wearing?
you're that much taller than me.
Oh,
I don't.
that's hilarious.
I
But perhaps. How tall are you, MJ?
I'm 5'3". Well, yeah, that's short.
MJ, I'm almost a whole foot taller than you. I'm 5'11".
Okay, fine. But there might be a little slant. It looks like there's a little slant. I'm
I'm
not
sure
sure.
there is some aspect ratio things happening. Yes.
Yo, like, okay, so I don't know if you can see. Can I zoom in? No, I can't. So I have two phones. I got my phone is right here horizontally, and this is Justin's phone. And I was recording, and it was freaking cold too. My fingers were cold,
Bro,
and we were there for 3 hours. That protest lasted like 3 hours, bro.
that's right. That's right. And then we hung out afterwards, right? But
Yep,
the
yep.
protest part, and that was another thing we had taken into consideration is the weather and the
Hmm.
timing of everything. So September is suicide, I believe, awareness or prevention month nationally. It's also after 9/11, right? Big, rest in
Heck yeah.
peace, veteran type status. And then we're coming off the next week of Labor Day,
So
right?
it's gonna be a
So
really
it's a
packed weekend.
multifold weekend. That's right. And so we're
This is a
looking
good thing.
obviously for plenty of support, volunteers, sponsors, organizations, corporations, because we really want
Heck
we
yeah.
we want to sound the alarm and we want to look good while we doing it. So, that's a
Yeah.
must.
And you know what? Now that we're bringing that up, I want to talk about. I'm gonna see if I can bring this up. ProPublica. Let me see.
I was gonna say,
And
hold up now, don't be putting me on blast or nothing.
don't worry about it.
No, I'm cool.
All right. So basically, right. This is what Ivy is trying to promote tonight, you guys. So there is this link that I'll be sharing. I'm actually gonna put it right now in the chat. And then I'm gonna share my screen real fast. So this right here, when you click on the link, you're redirected to sign up for the newsletter where you can basically stay up to date to all the big stories and all the big events, right? But what is it? So basically, these are like journalists who have access to, or basically have the lock and key in the legal system, to push stories and to push your stories. We all know the case that happened in Norway, what happened out there, the allegations on the Jehovah's Witnesses. This isn't an ex Jehovah's Witness website per se, but it's just like YouTube. YouTube is like a platform, right, where you can share your story, expose this religion, and this is like a great way to do it. And in Norway, that's basically what happened. A lot of people came together,
Yeah,
journalists, whistleblowers, people who were affected by this religion, and all the CSA cases. They all came together,
right.
and that's how Norway got the attention. Just like we did in the protest last year, we got a lot of people's attention at the White House. We want to do
Yep.
the same thing again this year, and this is another form of doing it.
Yeah.
Whether it was you were, I'm sorry to say it, but whether you were sexually abused by an elder or
Right.
anyone in the congregation, any story that you have, you can share it on this website. And I'm gonna take
Yeah.
this out real quick. Like, see,
Yeah.
you have your own little like application per se.
Yeah. It's
Put
just
in your
it's like an
information.
intake form so they can understand,
Hmm.
what is the scope of what's happening. And the nice thing about this news outlet is that it's national, right? So they have
Hmm.
hubs in different major cities, and they all will work together to investigate each submission that is associated with Jehovah's Witnesses. So you
Hmm.
have that option to put it in there. You can make up a fake name or last name only. It doesn't like verify that you are who you are per se, but you have to put in an email. So then that way, if they want to reach back out to you and further investigate or hear more details about your story or about your experience interacting with Jehovah's Witnesses or a coworker that was a witness, or you are a nurse or a doctor or an anesthesiologist and you had to sit in on a no blood patient, right? We
Hmm.
need all of those people, mental health professionals. If you're treating religious trauma from Jehovah's Witnesses, if you have been a suicide hotline supporter or an intake, a rehabilitation center, and you know that that person identified as a Jehovah's Witness, please, please, please put those stories, those encounters in here because we need quantifiable data. Anybody who knows anything about technology and the way things move today, the numbers is what everybody is looking at to see whether or not it's important. And
Hmm.
so the more of us that can submit to this particular news outlet, the more that they will see, wow, this is really an issue. Like we're getting flooded with people saying they've been affected by this
Yep.
particular organization. And then they will literally go in and do a really deep digging and a dive and be actually able to publish a full on multi-page article about, the damaging effects of Jehovah's Witness. And hopefully, since they have a new base in DC, we can get some of them to show up in person and speak to people
Heck yeah.
while they're there. So that would be super dope, y'all. So
Heck yeah.
warm up them fingers so y'all can
Start
get to
typing it
typing.
Yep. And it's funny, right? I would have never thought I'd be in this position. Well, any of us would be in this position to
Bro,
be exposing them this hard. And the thing is, United States is also really big. This we need United States to be involved because yes, Norway and all that side is pretty much getting taken care of. There are also other places that I think China too or something. I heard something about that. They're getting involved. There's a lot of places getting involved, but United States is one of the biggest, and they really need to be involved. We made a dent in the White House protests of last year, but we want to make a full on what's that called when you're total when you total your car.
oh,
we
totally,
want to
yeah.
crash this organization. So
Wreck.
we want to wreck it up. But who is Ivy? Who is promoting all this stuff, right? So Ivy,
Yes.
who are you? What are you doing on my screen, in my camera? What is up? What did you grow up a Jehovah's Witness?
I grew up around it. I didn't formally become, a witness kid until my mom was baptized. And that was probably like around third grade. But I knew about it and had been going to the meetings off and on with like my father's mom, or occasionally I would go, with my mom. But yeah, we didn't start literally practicing and stopping the holidays and cutting ourselves off from our non-witness family and stuff like that until she studied and got baptized around third grade.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
yeah, and it's funny because we were backstage, and you were telling me you have your phone on top of an old Bible.
facts. The brown one,
That thick ass
the
brown.
what they used to call it, the reference Bible. I
Really?
figured it comes in handy. It's
Mhm.
good for things, propping things, stuffing under things, leveling things. It really sets a path straight. I mean, it does so many things. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
And when I had my laptop right now is literally on top of a box that is meant to sterilize my baby's bottles. And the first thing that I thought about was, where is that Bible? Because I could use
facts.
that. It's
Exactly.
just automatic, like the first thing that I think of every single time I think about propping something a little higher. It's
Yep.
funny.
It
I
is.
I didn't know. Did they call it the reference Bible back then, or
Yes,
was
when
it
I
just the
first got
Bible?
it in the 90s, it was the you had your regular size one that first of all, they
Hmm.
had pocket size Bibles about big as your hand.
Oh, yep, I
And
remember
that's
that.
what we would give to the kids when they were going out in service or to the meetings. And then we
I
had our standard size Bible, right? And then you could, if you was an OG, like you studied and you wanted all the notes, you got the reference Bible, which is the one that I got here as a building block.
hmm Oh man, I was talking to Colin if he's still on. Last week we were talking about how they can't. There's no way they can name the new Bible the reference Bible because they took out that entire column in the middle.
That's
Basically,
right.
was the reference for the every scripture
That's
known
right.
to man, and they had to take it out because all the changes and crap they just don't
Crazy
coincide. They don't work. So
at all.
you know what I mean. But anyway, back to you. So you grew up around this
Yeah.
organization, and I hate to say this, okay, but I have to say it.
Go for it.
What was it that you enjoyed about the organization?
So, as a teenager and a kid, I didn't enjoy anything, which is why I did not want to be one.
Okay.
Period. I was like, I don't want to do this. It's boring. It's not fun. And all of these kids that are in here, they're lying.
Hmm.
I was like, I'd rather kick it with the kids at school because they straight up and down about who they are, what they're doing, what they're not doing. You guys over there lying about going to the bowling alley when y'all really making out in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Saying
yeah.
you with so and so when really that's not where you at. They was sneaking out of their windows and stuff at night. It was bananas. Like all the things you hear, they're
Hmm.
real. I've experienced them smoking weed, the whole nine, bro.
It's like,
So
go ahead, go ahead.
I was like, let me just go to the club and call it a day. I don't got time to be fooling around with y'all because y'all not truthful, And I figured since it was the truth, then I might as well be straight up and down about who I am, what I'm going to do, and what I'm not going to do. Besides, Jehovah already knows it. He can read my thoughts. So why do I need to lie to you when the most important person already knows? So I was very nonchalant. Like I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
Jehovah knows already I don't want to do this. So you just late to the party.
If anything, they were worse than the friends we had in school or the friends we had down the street. Way worse. Way worse. And I hated the fact I had a friend that would play Diablo, the video game, like, and he was a ministerial sir or is a ministerial. I don't know if he's an elder now, but I just like, man, what the heck? Like, this guy is playing demon-ish and he's getting away with it, bro. I've had friends like that played and watched like crazy movies, like
Yeah.
The Grudge and all that stuff. Like, I mean, obviously I do that now, but I'm saying like in
Facts.
the organization, like
You're not allowed to watch those movies. They're heavily frowned upon.
I'm not being a hypocrite. That's the big thing. Like,
That's
you're
it.
in the organization and you're being a hypocrite to all this stuff. People are joining in. Okay, great. For those of you that are just joined in, we're talking about Ivy and her story, and we'll talk a little more about that protest stuff later again, just to finish it off. But so Miss Ivy, are you baptized?
I was. Yes. I was. I was baptized in that faith.
There you go. You see, I've never had anybody say that. That's good.
That's right.
I like that.
I mean, because that's exactly what it is. You know, the people that Jehovah's Witnesses convert were previously baptized as Baptists or Catholics or Pentecostals or whatever. But guess what? They got to get baptized again into that particular faith to be a Jehovah's Witness. So that was kind of my logic. When you asked that question, I thought, at first I was going to say, like, yes. Then I thought, like, no, not at this current. No, I'm not baptized now. Like, yeah.
No way. It's not even considered a baptism. That's
Exactly. I make my vows to myself and I try to honor them and keep them because that's what lets me know that, one, I'm sane, two, I am in control of my life, and I legit am a good person. Like, I'm a good person. You know, I hate to say it, but I am, you know, and I shouldn't hate to say it. We shouldn't hate to say it.
Shauna's on. I'm pretty sure that's Shauna. Shauna, if you guys don't know, this is Shauna Vern's wife at Fixing My Face. She came in to support us tonight. Hey,
Thank
Jay.
you.
What's up, Jay? Oh, did I say hi to K Fred? What's up, K Fred?
I'm so mad you said K. Fred. Almost sounds like a name with a little accent.
Yeah, for a second, I felt like Will Smith from Men in Black. What up, K? Hey, K. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there you go. So this organization, man, it's been a mess for all of us, and everyone's different. Everyone was messed up in some way, hurt in some way, and I'm sure you have you were hurt in some way, and things happened. Is that something you're willing to discuss, or nah? You want to pass on?
Oh yeah, we can talk about it.
So
it's a little bit of a Pandora's box, but we can open that.
Let's do it. I mean, come on, let's open it up. Let's share some stories.
Where should I mean, you want me to begin somewhere? Okay, I'm just gonna say, guide me, lead me to the promised land, my brother.
I'm the host, so I should be asking the question. Okay, so leading up to your baptism, you obviously thought that you were gonna be doing this long time. You felt the Holy Spirit. You wanted to do it all. Now, after your baptism, how long was it until you started to feel that decline of, like, you were being attacked spiritually in a sense where you were being debilitated spiritually? What was that factor that caused you to feel like this ain't right?
Yo, so for a long time, I felt like it was my fault that I was having that feeling. And the reason why is because I did something that they tell you not to do, which is not to get married shortly after baptism. They don't encourage you to get married right after baptism. And you have to make sure the brother has been tested to fitness. You want to make sure he's qualified. And for me, since I had studied with a missionary who came from Africa here, my congregation and my circuit, they had these really high goals and expectations of me. Like, serving with her need is great. She's going to go into missionary service, you know, and I was down for all of that because I love to travel and I love language. So that wasn't a big deal. But I get married and then I'm unevenly yoked with someone else who's baptized, which I didn't understand how that could happen, but they also explained that to me. And yeah, I just had a horrible, like gut-wrenching, vomit-inducing marriage.
Mm.
And that's just what slowly wore me out, you know, because I'm like, I can only beseech and supplicate and pray and pioneer and volunteer. I can only do so much of that. Why is my situation not improving, you know? So it ended up actually being a source of contention in my house because I was the spiritual one and my spouse was not. So it caused a lot of, you know, disputes. We're not going to go there with the beards. Another dispute.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about that in one of your interviews. You were talking about that a lot, about that whole beard situation.
Yeah, because I don't think they realize that these rules that they make actually have consequences, or they disrupt the members' lives in a way that they don't even consider. You know, it's a regular, natural thing for a man to grow a beard. Okay, it's no big deal, right? Mustache, facial hair, the whole nine, underarms. Like, let's not go there. This is regular human anatomy. But when you come up to somebody who has that perspective of like, I can't do what my body naturally does, we would be beefing about that all the time because he wasn't able to get privileges or be used in the congregation, in the field service. So it looks like now I'm dragging dead weight of a husband spiritually, right? We know the psychology of that. Yeah. And so it just created this horrific experience on top of a bunch of other things that was happening behind the scenes. But finally, when I got the courage to separate, that's when the heat really turned up. Because right before I separated, I literally wrote the branch office a 4-page letter breaking down specific instances along my 12 years of marriage, I believe at that time, with scriptures and article references, pretty much questioning them like, all this time I've been going through all of this. I've talked to these amount of body of elders because we moved around a lot. And I'm like, what is happening with my situation? I need help. You know what I'm saying? And I need intervention in my home because I'm losing it. Like psychologically, I'm losing it. And then I was worried about separating because then I'm not irreprehensible. And that was horrible. You know, even though I had high hours at the time, which now you don't even got to report. But anyway, and I had 2 active Bible students coming to the meetings, like for real. So after that, I couldn't get none of the brothers to like help me or talk to me. I separated. They wouldn't help me move. They had this whole, they pushed the headship arrangement on me super hard. And it was me and my daughter. So after that letter, then separating, and then not getting any support during the separation, I was separated for 2 years from my husband at that time. He didn't want to reconcile. He didn't want to do any of the things. So guess what? That leaves me married but single forever. Wow. Typically not a problem, but for me it is. You know, I didn't take no oath of abstinence or like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't sign up for that, especially not being married. Like you said earlier, it's supposed to be forever, you know, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh man. I had someone say that my volume was low. How does it sound now? I sound a little louder, I'm sure.
That's because you got your radio show host voice on, like you the after 9 o'clock radio host.
Yeah. I got some pretty cool stuff over here. Like I got a laugh. I got that.
I love that.
Some clapping. And I also have.
You got some
this
booing.
This is for my wife. This ain't for y'all. Like this is not for you guys. Little kissy.
Oh my word. That is hilarious.
Yeah, I got some pretty funny stuff on here. And but yeah, I hope my volume sounds good.
Maybe just pull your mic a little bit closer. Perhaps. I probably shouldn't have did that motion, but anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, Ruby, it's a Donner podcast workstation. I can probably link that to you later. But I hope my volume's a little better. I could go a little closer and talk to you guys.
Closer than close.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so the wine's getting to me already, guys.
That's why sipping shades. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
this is
Nobody has to know.
yeah, exactly. Speaking of shade, I got some jokes and stuff later. So if you guys are sticking around and you guys want to laugh, I got some funny stuff for you guys later.
You're so funny.
But back to you because this is about you. This isn't
It's
about
about
me.
all of us.
I guess. Okay, yeah, it is about all of us. Me more. But anyway.
Me some more than you. No.
um yes, we're being a little bougie tonight and it's because we gotta just try something different. Like we gotta like
Facts.
I had a very bad week. It's bad. I've been working out of state a lot. I've been tired. I'm only on 4 hours of sleep, so I'm tired. Um, and this is what I needed. So thank you, Ivy, for the suggestion. This was all her idea. She brought this up in our rehearsal last week, and so I appreciate that. I do got to be more inventive and more creative. I am a creative person. I mean, I'm a Sagittarius, but the thing is, I'm like that Sag that is very very lazy too.
Ah, that might
But
be
it's
your moon. That's your moon sign, perhaps. Like how you
uh,
identify on the inside.
see, I haven't looked into that. I don't know any of that stuff. I know obviously the regular zodiac, but I don't
Yeah.
know the more deep into details on what those. Vern. I wanted to check out Vern. Vern had something on his show. He had a book, and I think it was called "The Secret Language of Birthdays,"
Hmm.
and it talks about your zodiac sign based off of your birthday.
Oh yes. Yes.
And yeah, and it was he was talking about I forgot who he was talking to about it, and I think it was Watch Me Tower, and himself, and they were accurate. Like Verns was talking
Bro.
about how he paid attention to detail, he was informative, and he wanted to reach out to people, and that's exactly what he does, obviously on his
Bro.
show.
It's bananas, isn't it? Like if you haven't looked into it, and I'm not like, oh, I'm a staunch believer, because for me, this journey or this season of my life, since I was so boxed in before, like I literally have semi commitment issues, and I just want to be free to do whatever the hell I want to do whenever I want to do it. So if I want to believe Catholicism today and be Muslim tomorrow, guess what? That's my choice. But I'm not committing to any religion or any like thoughts, particular thought system. I just like to study the variety of culture because to me, religion is a very much a cultural thing.
Hmm.
And then just take apart certain things that I see as a common thread, right? And then be
Yeah.
open to the experience. Like, is that something that calls to my spirit, right? So there's so many different things, but that astrology, I have an app called CoStar. You can download it, but you
Mm.
need your birthday, you need your birth time, and you need your birth location
Mm.
because you can be born on the same day at the same time, but if you're born in China and you born over in New England, the way the stars are positioned is going to be completely
Mm.
different. The moons and everything. So it's scary how accurate it is. Actually, I will say that. I look at it
Wow.
now like my daily text. Jumpstart my day like, okay, please don't have an attitude today. Okay, got it. Don't honk at anybody when they cut you off in traffic. Roger that. Don't be an asshole. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you for letting me know what not to do today. Great.
Right, right. Wow, it's so fascinating what we learn when we leave, and how scary it was for us to even look into that kind of stuff. Like,
I know.
I had
Demonism.
I know I had someone on last week, 2 weeks ago, privately offline, and I posted it. Someone who reads those tarot cards and does all that stuff, and I'm just talking to her, and she's fun, and it was a great conversation, and I learned things that I never knew, and a lot of
Yeah.
positive stuff too. Not it's there's nothing wrong to express what you're into, what you believe in. It's
Yeah.
good to share what share with everybody what you do for a living and your beliefs. It's all good. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
restrained. Like the organization is just keeping you from all this stuff and making it bad.
Bad.
And it's sad. But listen,
Okay.
hold on, get a sip. You want to take a sip together real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna say pop the pinky up. You know what I'm saying? You said we're
Uh,
being bougie. There we go. Hey.
I, I hit my teeth. You heard that?
Remember that?
Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. Um, oh, by the way, when that's done, I got this too. So that
Bro, okay. Is that a Heineken?
that is a yeah. I haven't drank Heineken in forever, bro. It's
Wow.
it's it's. I'm gonna do it in a bit. My wine is almost done anyway in my glass. But anyway, I know. I'm sorry. It was very. I didn't plan. I mean, I planned it, but I didn't plan it for you guys. I'm sorry. Like I said, I've been so busy. My
Listen,
description for
they
this
can
video was like
go
very
get
vague.
your wine, go get your cocktails, get your flask, get your tea, your hot chocolate, your kombucha, whatever you sipping on.
Yeah,
Get
yeah,
it and then just keep rolling with us. Put your shades on, screenshot yourself. Who knows? I'm just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
have a good time.
And I'm not really a wine drinker. My wife is a wine drinker. I mean, I like it. I'm just not, a drinker for
Yeah,
wine. But I mean, I'm enjoying it. It hits me faster. I'm a female. I'm a lightweight when it comes to drinking alcohol. Like it hits me real fast. Like right now,
that's good.
I'm. But that's all good. But
Yeah,
listen,
at least you know you're not an alcoholic based
no,
off of
no.
how quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
So
No, it's not something I desire. It's not something my body asks for. Like yeah, sure. Friday nights after a long day of work,
mm,
I'll buy a pack or something. But I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't drink beer like that or alcohol. Period, like that. But I mean, I enjoy it. We all have to enjoy drinking alcohol at some point. But Ivy, so I appreciate that you're elaborating a bit on the issues that you have with the organization. Is there anything doctrinal wise that sounded kooky to you?
well, I never really liked the headship arrangement
Hmm.
at all. It's something that maybe I could have been more okay with had I had a different mate, but that whole submissiveness thing, it never really worked for me because I'm the oldest of four girls. I was raised by a single mom. I was raised in the 80s and 90s. And I have
Mm,
a family full of women who pretty much had to step up or carry the load of the family at certain times. So that's just automatically in me. Plus, I have, relative intelligence to me, I learn things really quickly. So I have feedback that I like to share. Um, Sometimes it used to be unsolicited, so I don't do that anymore. But I didn't like that because I feel like it didn't allow me to speak. The other
mm,
thing I had challenges with, especially when I moved to Florida, was dressing grooming because
oh.
it's hot.
Hmm.
So it's like, oh, you can't wear a bathing suit, or you have to have a cover up, or don't do a two piece. And I'm like, get out of my life. So that was difficult. Um, let's see,
That's
I was
smooth
fully
easy.
bought in for 1914 because I was a big prophecy person. So it wasn't the principles that brought me into the organization. It was more of the explanations, Daniel's prophecy, Ezekiel, like all of that stuff, the chariot and all that greatness.
Yep.
And I was cool with that. There were some things I couldn't quite completely string together, but I was just like, it's okay. You know how they do. The light will get brighter. You can't understand everything all at once. So that's what would go in the back of my mind sometimes. Like, oh, don't question, don't doubt automatically, right? So
Hmm.
there was things that I would hear at assemblies or conventions, and they would give me pause, especially when I knew that there were other individuals not practicing those things. So I had a huge issue with hypocrisy, especially if it was people in appointed positions like elders, ministerial servants, and pioneers. So I didn't understand the selection process either. Like, how are these
No.
people doing these things? And some of them, I know they were doing those things prior to them getting this position. So it made me question the level of nepotism versus Jehovah's Spirit versus they're all imperfect. Like, I constantly had that struggle,
That was for me.
right? Like, was it the same type of thought process or doctrines that you struggle with? Like going back and forth?
Heck yeah. Because it was because of all the abuse that I had. I had to literally tell myself if I'm being abused, that means the Holy Spirit is allowing it.
Right.
So that means the Holy
Right.
Spirit is not a part of the organization because I understand the Holy Spirit to be a good thing.
That's right.
And then
That's right.
if God can change Pharaoh's heart, then then the Holy Spirit, which is God, the Holy Spirit can also um, see into a person's heart whether or not they're going to be capable of torturing somebody or abusing somebody. You know,
Yes.
if that person is able to do that, the Holy Spirit knew it all along, and the Holy Spirit's not going to put somebody in a position to eventually hurt somebody. So,
Facts. That's kind of like the whole you can appeal your disfellowshipping.
hmm
And I'm like, why would I appeal Jehovah God, the sovereign of the universe, who doesn't make mistakes? Why would I do that? That makes no sense to have that option. I'm only going to appeal something if I feel like I'm accused of something and then now I'm being punished for it unjustly. So, yeah, I never appealed and I never understood that process either. It was always kooky to me. Like,
yeah,
okay,
you're putting people in position of power. Or like I was saying earlier, the friend that I had who played Diablo and he became a ministerial servant. It's like, what were the like, what did you, you know, when you're getting a job and you go into an interview, you have to say something to 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 catch their attention for them to be
it's
fascinated. You know, like, so what was it that you did to get that position? Because you obviously lied.
right. You're like, I know you. Like, let's keep it 100. This, you should
Yeah.
not have this job.
Ruby was asking. I mean, it depends. I don't know if you want to put it out here, on blast like that. But she's asking where in Florida are you from, and
Oh,
she's in
Tampa
Tampa.
Bay.
Oh, she's
Tampa
in
Bay.
Tampa. Nice.
Oh, that's dope. We can connect.
My family's from Clearview, so that's where I be at all the time.
Wait, is that on the Atlantic coast?
I don't know all that crap. Don't be talking to me with all those
You're
terms.
so funny. I know geography. That's kind of one of my things. Are you sure it's Clearview and not Clearwater?
Sorry, Clearwater. My bad.
That's
Yep,
where I used to
Clearwater.
live. Clearwater is dope. It's on the Gulf Coast. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
come on down because we will kick it hard.
you gotta show me all the spots. We'll have Ruby
Right.
in, and I'll bring my wife. We'll have fun.
Yeah. So Ruby already knows. Ybor City? Yes.
Mm.
Soho? Yes. Armature Works? Hell
Yeah,
yes. Like
yo, they still
all
got
the time.
CC's Pizza down there, because that
Dude,
was popping back in the day. You remember CC's Pizza?
I do remember it. They had arcades in there. You would go. That's usually where we would go with the kids in the congregation and then pop over and go to like the movies.
Yeah, like over
It was
that
like a
was
pizza buffet.
yeah, and not necessarily Tampa. Like I'm saying, like in Kissimmee and all that stuff. They had.
Well, we had it in Ohio actually,
Oh, okay,
and it
okay.
was CICI apostrophe S, right?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah. We had them in Ohio. I'm familiar with them. I'm a little bougie with my pizza, but I've gone there.
Yeah, like they had like sweet pizza too and
Yes.
a bunch of stuff. Wow. So you've been through a lot, like all of us. And with your awakening process, um, when did that all start for you?
Yo, I was so skeptical because um, I kind of had the plan of coming back like in a year or two because I wanted to experience some things that I've always wanted to experience, like a tattoo, a nose ring. Um,
Hmm.
I wanted to do like semi-professional like modeling. I wanted to try to like, not that I wanted to bodybuild or anything like that, but I just wanted to spend time focusing on me and the things that I wanted to do. Because you really
Important.
can't do that when you're a witness.
Mm.
Because you're always taught to put yourself last and put everybody else first. And then you want to be looked at as, you know, what are all the stuff they tell you that you're doing? If you're trying to get an advance on your job, you're too ambitious. You don't want to be greedy or materialistic. You don't want to be vain. Like there's always all these things that's stopping you from just being a person.
Yep.
So I swear I was going to be back relatively. So I would probably say my journey to waking up might have started in probably 2021. Yeah, it was 2021 because I got taken to go see Dave Chappelle in his backyard, which was super dope. So I know it was 2021 because we still had to wear masks.
You were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, bro, it was great. So, great. If you could see Dave Chappelle live, I just swear, just do
I
it.
is he does he yell 24/7?
What do you mean, yo?
Because he's always yelling. So is he yelling? Does he yell when he talks too in person? I mean, I haven't seen Dave Chappelle in a while, so all I
Well,
just know
yeah, that's his like his
his character.
inflection when he talks. Yeah, that's how he is. Whether you catch him on Netflix or if you go to one of his live shows,
Hmm.
he is Dave. That he is. He's going to tell a fascinating story. He's going to drop some history. He's going to give an interesting, or what we would call a TPQ, thought-provoking question, and we had to do that in the ministry. I was
Bringing
a
all the
super
terms back.
nerdy witness, if you can't tell. I was like overly righteous, you know, that's what they would have called me. But
Did
yeah,
you pioneer?
I did. I pioneered. And matter of fact, talked my mom into pioneering too, so we went to pioneer school together.
Oh man, how dare
Can
you.
I tell you a really quick story? This is deep because this is something I haven't shared with anybody else. Okay.
Go right ahead.
My marriage was bad,
Hmm.
but it was also physically abusive.
Hmm.
It was psychologically abusive, so much so that I ended up getting on medication to hopefully keep me from going crazy.
Hmm.
At one point in time, it had reached a peak to where when I went to therapy, I had told my therapist, I was like, I don't think I want to live anymore, and I'm going to attempt something. And she was like, what do you mean? I said, well, technically before I came here, I downed a bunch of pills and drank like two wine coolers. She stopped the session and was like, you need to go to the hospital right now. So I go to the hospital, they do the evaluation, they check me in.
Hmm.
Hands down, at that time in my life, it was the best experience I had ever had. I had a room, I had somebody cleaning up after me, I had my meals being prepared for me, I had storyboarding time, I got to imagine, and I got to heal a little, and kind of detox and be away from my abuser, right?
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, I'm doing good with my time. I'm pioneering. Two brothers came to my house after I got out to talk with us. I literally told them the reason why I was in the hospital is because I was being physically abused and that I was.
You're living a better life over there.
Listen here, I knew everybody's name, the nurses, I was getting extra stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they're using me as an example in the group therapy. You know, they're like, so can you kick us off? I'm like, absolutely. But they knew that, and nothing happened to my ex-husband. It wasn't like he was privately reproved.
Of course, right.
He wasn't disfellowshipped, right, for damn near killing me. Like, the man choked me to the point of passing out.
I'm sorry if this is too out there, but did you have any marks and bruises on your body enough to show the brothers?
No, it was all just choking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Because, there's stupid two witness rule, so I'm pretty sure with even evidence, they won't even care.
No, keep praying to Jehovah. You guys aren't doing your Bible reading. Maybe you should be studying more together. You should be engaging in the field service more together. You need to strengthen your spiritual relationship, your connection. And I'm like, bro, you see my discharge papers and the band still around my wrist. Like, I'm literally fresh out the hospital. Who does that? Like, I'm not that person that just wants to go and spend 3 days in the mental section of the hospital because I don't got nothing else better to do. Like, that's not what was happening. So it was super intense, and it was disappointing. And that's one thing that has baffled me the entire time is how I could be going to the elders, talking to them, sharing with them what's happening in my life behind the scenes. Yet every opportunity we had to sit down and get some type of clarity, literally nothing ever happened to him. No private reproof ever in 17 years of marriage.
That's how it is.
No public reproof and no disfellowshipping. But yet I commit one sin. I flew from Ohio down to Florida just to get disfellowshipped. Literally in the middle of vacation, cop a flight, like, because you got to tell within a week's time or the thing. So I told, confessed. They were like, we want to have your meeting next week. And I'm like, I'm in Ohio. I'm trying to be faithful, loyal to Jehovah. I'm trying to repent for my sin, whatever, my misstep. Fly down, last minute trip, round trip ticket just to get disfellowshipped. None of that was taken into consideration. So it was just a lot of messed up stuff that happened back to back to back that kind of always left me like puzzled at the end. Just puzzled. And that made me feel like I had to work harder. I needed to believe harder. I need to study harder. Like, I need a break. I need a break. So towards the end, I was tired of being Joseph. I was tired of being Job. And I was like, I'm going to just live my life. Like, this is it.
I'm sorry that you went through that. And unfortunately, whether we haven't, we all go through it. Even if you haven't gone through it, like, and you're a PME right now and something is about to happen, in your relationship or even outside of it, it's bound to happen because your elders don't give a crap about you. Even though they say they do, they don't.
They
And
don't.
and it's I wouldn't say it's 100% their fault. It's also because of the manual they read tells them that they shouldn't care.
So, in a nutshell, and
So
they're not trained professionals. They're not
no,
mental health
exactly. They're not.
specialists or life certified life coaches.
No, and they should be, and
Yes.
especially if you're taking care of 120 or something brothers in the congregation. You know, you
Yep.
should be in positions to take care. What nobody's trained to do anything. Like
Nope.
when I was a ministerial servant, and I literally got thrown in to do shepherding calls without any training, and I was expected to obviously come up with the scriptures and thoughts, and and speak to the person that was literally about to kill themselves when I myself I'm having issues on wanting to kill myself. So like how am I supposed to approach this sister who's crying? And then it's like if I screw up and I mess up, her blood is on my hands.
Right.
So why if they have schools for evangelizers, they got pioneers, all that stuff, where's the health
Sensitivity
related
training.
school? Like,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah. The emotional intelligence training. Yeah. All of
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
They could do that if they wanted to. They could, but it's not. That's not a concern of theirs to really take care of the sheep. They say spiritual, 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 but if your mind isn't right, nothing else is going to be sustainable, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's the doubts where you're constantly, beating yourself up, if you actually have chemical imbalances, any particular low can trigger depression. If you're a
Yep.
mom and you've had a baby and you experience postpartum depression, if without that being treated, it rolls into full on depression after a period of time. So there's so
Yep.
many nuances to the human experience, layoffs, inflation, all of that kind of stuff that affects us. They don't take any of that into consideration. In
Uh-uh.
my opinion and in my experience, none of that is looked at as effort or as one of the things supposedly that.
Do you guys hear me? Because it looks like Ivy got cut off. Okay. You got cut off
Did
for
I
a
get cut
second.
off?
But you're good. You're good.
Dang.
Yeah.
But no, that's it. They don't, from my experience, they don't care.
Hmm. And this is exactly what you were saying earlier. K. Fred says that they don't know how to answer certain questions, so they tell you to do more praying, studying, and ministry. And like you were saying with your husband or your partner or whatever, that I know the word husband is triggering. So, um,
Ooh.
so I know exactly how that feels because I was in that position as well. I am a male, obviously, and I had a wife who was also going through issues. We were going through issues, and it is what it is. Like that's exactly what happens. They tell you, "Oh, you got to go out and service more. You got to preach. Comment more in the meeting. The more you do spiritually, Jehovah's Holy Spirit will be with you guys." And I'm
Right.
like, but those are physical things that the organization requires. Jehovah doesn't need to know how many hours I need to write down. For us to have a better relationship with each other, it's about us. It's about me and her. It's something internal that we have to fix. And we are asking you guys for help. And we
Right.
asked for shepherding calls like literally 3 times,
You
and
didn't get it?
we never got any of them.
Not
And
surprised.
and it just happens, and it's unfortunate, it's sad, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that. You feel like you're the man and the woman in the relationship sometimes because you have to carry all that load, and you're supposed to be a little peasant when it comes to being a partner who is abusive, especially if you're a woman, which is incredibly sad. You can't do ish. You just have to roll with the punches, like go with the flow,
Yeah.
and hope that he changes. You can't
Just
change him. He
win him
has
over
to.
without a word. That's what I want to. Like,
Right? Yeah,
so,
I know. And but
like,
then
yo.
you'll get this fellowship too. Like if you even stand up for yourself. because you can get exposure for that too. We're going against their word.
Terrible.
Yep. But how about we transition into a little more comedy, because this is a little sad, but I want to make it more fun.
He said it's
So
sad.
I have a few jokes. If anybody's interested in laying out their own jokes, I'll highlight them on here. But I got a few things that I wrote down. So let's see. I hope you guys laugh. I mean, I am under the influence, so I know I'll laugh.
I said, I'm funny to me. That's all that matters.
So the first one I have here, this is, shade, basically. And this is how it goes. It goes, I asked the Jehovah's Witnesses if they could fix my leaky faucet, but they said they're only here for spiritual repairs.
Ah,
So that's one,
okay.
if you guys got that. My second one is, when the Jehovah's Witnesses knocked, I asked if they wanted to hear a joke, but they said they already have a book of Revelations.
Yo, that's a good one. Like that one.
This one may not be that funny, but I mean, I tried. It says, I wrote, I offered the Jehovah's Witnesses some lemonade and asked if Brother Let would like some sugar with his dramatic expressions. It's okay.
Almost not quite. Like,
I wrote a poem as well.
oh, I'm a poet too. Let's hear it. Come on. Right. That's right. Yeah. Lift the sternum up. Remember. Yeah.
Here we go. So, in suits and ties, they approach with zeal. Their message, they're convinced, is the real deal. But as they preach with fervent might, their timing, it seems, isn't quite right. For when it comes to dates, they fumble and fuss, while the Jews mark their calendar without any fuss. So let them knock, let them try to persuade, but the memorial date to the Jews it's laid.
Yo, I like that one. That was good.
Because,
That
the
was
memorial's
so
on the
sorry.
wrong day, and they're
Facts.
obsessed with timing,
Right. I always thought that was interesting too. Like when I started associating with more actual like Jews, as to when they would observe these things, and I'm like, well, they always say they do it based off of the Jewish calendar, but I'm like, I'm around Jews and the calendar's not matching. Like, why are they doing this whole week-long celebration that culminates in this? Right? And they're like, oh, well, we believe in Jesus, and they don't. But I thought we got it from them, right? Like,
Yeah.
isn't that where we got it from?
Right, exactly.
So yeah, it's been pretty interesting, those things. And I can't say that I thought about all of them while I was in, but there's so many more, like you said, things that come to your mind once it starts to be unlocked and it starts to gain freedom. That thought process starts to gain momentum.
Yeah.
And it's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you, MJ. Like it mentally, it's scary. The first 2 years were really rough, and having to come to terms with things like, bruh.
Yeah.
But here we are now, and I have a joke too.
Ooh.
I know it's corny, but it doesn't matter.
I already threw out my corny joke, so it's your
We gotta
turn.
go. So you ready for this?
I
What do
am-
you call a cow with no legs?
What the freak? Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
Ground beef.
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
All right. So here's another one, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Why was the police officer in bed?
I was a police officer in bed.
Mm-hmm. Or why did he go to bed?
To remain silent. I'm not sure.
Oh, that was a good guess. But he was undercover.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
My wife told me one. She says, "How does Paul make his coffee or tea?"
I don't know.
He brews it.
Yo, I should have known that one. I
Right?
should have. That's stupid. I feel like somebody used to tell that joke in the car during field service. Like
Yeah,
I
pretty
know
much.
I've heard that. Yes.
That was yep. You know us witnesses, or we would I say us witnesses, but you know what I mean. They
Yes.
would throw in some jokes here and there out in the field service. It was. Were you also the car group that would make fun of like the people that at the doors? Like you make fun of like what they look like, how they sounded, or anything? Because we
People
did
would
that.
reference it, but they were more so talking about elder or decision,
Hmm.
right? Or certain little tiffs that they had in the congregation with other people. Because there was some that wouldn't get in the same car group together. Like they constantly came with their own groups. And if you try to bust them up so that they can work with somebody else, some of them would just flat out refuse. Go into the parking lot and get into the car with their friends and call it a day. So some of us would be left standing around like, didn't you put me in MJ's group? Like I don't see his car out here. Lo and behold, now he got to find a slot for me. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'm like, I'm just going to go home. Like, I don't have time for these shenanigans. But yeah, I've had some interesting experiences, bro. I almost got into a fight at a meeting, like literally
What?
fist fight. So it's just,
Are
man.
are you willing to tell this historia?
Ah, sí, mi compadre. So it happened to me twice actually in the same congregation here in Florida.
Hmm.
We had a new person attending the hall. It seemed like she was trying to get chummy with my ex at the time, but not in like that way, I don't think.
We'll get back
Um,
to you, Jay. I wanna hear this out real quick.
so this person, sister, she confronted me. So, most congregations, you come in, you have a little foyer where they be passing out literature and you have the information board and stuff like that. So we had this large opening space when you first come in.
Hmm.
So I'm literally in a corner by the literature counter in like the short hallway to the bathroom. And she's literally like snapping on me, like going off, telling me I need to be more submissive and this and this and
What?
that. Talking about I wasn't listening to my husband. Like she said she'd been watching me. And
Listen
I
here,
be
sister.
yeah, I be talking back. Some craziness like that. I need to be more supportive and yada yada this and yada that. So literally this went on for like 3 minutes. It wasn't a long
That's a
period of
long
time,
time.
but it was a long enough for me to start happening.
Become
So
a super saiyan.
meanwhile, and I'm sitting here and literally people are walking around, they're just chitty chatting, making sure they have enough literature. And I'm thinking, no one is seeing what's happening. And
Wow.
she's an older sister too. So I'm thinking if I uppercut her and punch her like a gut punch, like, real quick, I'm like, I'm gonna be in trouble. This is gonna be bad. So I'm literally now trying to keep the tears from literally rolling down my face because I literally want to shove this woman to the ground to get her out of my face. I already showed up in a bad mood anyway. You know what I mean? We were late and I hated showing up for field service late,
Yeah.
but that's what happened. So I'm literally in a corner, boxed in, getting, yelled at by this unmarried older sister. Like, I don't know what made her think that she could step to me like that. I'm thankful that I kept it together that one time.
Hmm.
The second time, I remember taking my shoes off in the car, marching myself back into the Kingdom Hall, and I was getting ready to lay hands. I did not care. Somebody stopped me at as soon as I came through the door, because I must have looked like, yeah, I'm about to do damage.
Yeah.
Like,
That.
I
That.
had enough. Like, can you, like, in the Kingdom Hall all the time? And I was like, why do people keep trying to test me? Meanwhile, get behind me, Satan. I'm not going to do this. You're not going to make me bring reproach on Jehovah's name. Can't have the cops at the Kingdom Hall. Literally, like to the point of like we about to. So
Wow.
that was bananas. Going through that amongst other things at the same time. So it was a lot on me. It was crazy. I will say that.
I've heard of stories of brothers you know getting at each other at the
Duking
Kingdom
it
Hall,
out.
and it's not new. It's everywhere,
I just
and
couldn't believe it was happening to me, bro. Like, really?
and nobody doing nothing about it. They're just watching this chick like be mad disrespectful, and nobody's like giving a crap.
No, at
I had
all.
a sister being very disrespectful to me once. I was at the literature too. I was in charge of literature, and my father had just passed away like a year. I'm sorry, no, it was his anniversary. And so I'm wearing his tie, and the sister comes up to me and she says, "You shouldn't be wearing that tie. It's extremely ugly." And then I I said, "Oh, okay. This is my father's tie." And then she says, "It doesn't matter. It doesn't look right on you. It just looks ugly. You should change it." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Really?" And I just when I'm if I notice someone's being mean or rude to me, or
Mhm.
somebody being mean or rude to somebody else, I automatically laugh because it's the only way I know how to make the situation unawkward. And
Yeah.
I do that a lot. But this is a sister that's known for being very blunt with people, and she does not care. Her husband's an elder, so she feels privileged, and she's very out there. She doesn't care. That same meeting was when my my ex-wife's mom finally came to the Kingdom Hall after like 7 years of being disfellowshipped for the first time, just to be there. And this sister went up to my ex-wife and said, "Is your mom coming here today a forever thing or a one-time miracle?"
Wow.
and and from there, and the funny thing is, because of that comment, my ex mother-in-law never ever went back. And if that sister that treated you that way, the sister that treated me that way, that treated my ex moms that way, that means that the Holy Spirit was never in there to begin with. There's some when you finally sit down to realize all the ish that goes on in the Kingdom Home, you will really you will open your mind and you will
Mhm.
see the what's behind, like, the devil's at work here, bro. Like, you have no idea. Like, uh, whoever is here and is a PME, bro, we're literally XJWs because we love, I mean, we love truth, and we follow Christ who is loving, and this organization is not loving. I'm tipsy
Yeah.
right now. I don't know what the hell I'm saying, but the point is, um,
Yeah.
you get my drift, right?
Yes.
So, but real quick, Jay had a joke here.
Oh, I love it. Let's hear it.
Where is? Oh yeah, he said, "Why do the Bethel brothers keep buying new pillows?"
Yo, I'm not even gonna say the answer out loud because I don't know if it's PG-13,
I
TVMA.
thought the
Like,
same thing.
I got a
Listen,
couple of.
listen. I don't. I know that you might think that this is rated R, and that's fine because I believe it. I'm thinking way out the box right now. Let's see. What does he say? I don't know, Jay. Give us your answer if you're still here, because I have no idea. I think he answered. Let's see here. Because what? Because they are stained.
I figured that was the case.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I see you.
Their
I
robes
see.
aren't white anymore.
Nope, nope, nope. Oh, here's one. Okay, so why did Paul tell Timothy to take a little wine for his stomach problems? Because it was Paul's bottle. Yo, where you guys be coming up with these things? These are things that you guys have had hidden inside your agenda for a while, huh?
Facts.
These are these are jokes that you wished you could say back then, and now that you have the ability to say it, you'll say it. This is Alan
Yeah.
Yu. Welcome. I don't know if I know you. I apologize if you have been on here before, but welcome, Alan.
What's
Alan
up,
Yu.
Alan?
Yeah. What's the story behind the U? I want to know that. Alan Yu. Is that like an Asian thing?
You are
Alan.
so not right for saying that.
Listen,
I love you though, but yes.
I need to know.
You see a Marcus on there, you say, is that like a black thing? Or
When I went to an all white school when I was in high school.
Uh-huh.
and middle school and elementary. And and I was I'm Puerto Rican,
Okay.
but because of there's so many white people, I'm black to them.
Yes.
So I was made fun of so hard. I got so annoyed at a few times. Like people would ask me, "Yo, where's your cornbread at?" Like I get so annoyed.
Yo, bro.
And people would like say like when we play basketball, they always pass me the ball because they say I can make dunks. Like it was just
Very
annoying.
stereotypical. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it, but I know what you mean. This what does this mean? Alan said disappointed in 2000 after 35 years.
Mm.
Wow, so you've been out for third. How long you been out?
I know. I think 2000 was the mark of 35 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And probably been out for the last 24, perhaps. Well, welcome,
Yeah,
Alan.
he said disassociated.
Ah,
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but then again, that's great news.
it is. It is. Even
You
the
know.
terminology cracks me up. Disfellowship, disassociated.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
no
Like.
one else uses those terms, which is another reason why you know it's a cult. Like, I really did extensive research on high control religious groups, and just some of the things. Like, there were a lot of unique nuances to what identifies something as a cult, more so than what your average or typical person would think, at least, in my experience. And
Mhm.
those very organization specific terms is one of those things. I remember them telling us when we would go out in service, don't use expressions like governing body or anointed, stuff like that, because they're like the general public that don't resonate with them. Well, that's
Yeah.
because they're not a part of a cult, so of course they're not going to understand those terms.
Mm-mm.
But yeah,
Yeah. I
craziness.
mean, they say this fellowship and disassociated, and Jesus says, "Come here." That's it. Like you sinned today. That's okay.
Okay,
Just come here, follow
Just
me, eat with
that's
me.
right. Just
That's
do your
it. That's all it
best.
takes.
That's it.
This fellowship, this associate, yo, they're so cruel. It reminds me of how evil they think. Like, I mean, when you were in, right? You tell me if this is true. The phrase, "We're celebrating the death of Jesus Christ for the memorial." Was that like normal to say, right? Because
Yeah,
I've that's how I like categorized it, like the
yeah,
celebration of Jesus' death.
right.
And now that I really think about that, that's kind of cruel if you think about it, because you don't want to celebrate somebody's death. You want to commemorate them, but you also want to celebrate their resurrection, like mainstream Christendom, or just
Yeah,
commemorate their legacy, what they did. They don't even do that. They just talk about the freaking Last Supper, and that's it.
that's it. That's it. That's all. And that the justification I would imagine is because that's the only thing he said to keep doing.
Hmm.
And then of course, the ministry is the identifying mark of a true Christian.
Don't do it,
So
Jay. Don't do
yeah,
it.
what happened?
Don't do it. I don't need it. He's got a bunch of jokes up his sleeve. He's trying to mess with me, but
Love it.
yeah, it's dumb.
It
But
is. And the funny thing is, remember, I don't know if you remember this, but when it came to like crosses and things like that, I would hear different people use an analogy out in service, where they would be like, if your loved one was hit by a car, or if they were accidentally, shot, right? Would you want to wear the bullet around your neck? Would you want to like keep that car that took their life, as a symbol of remembering that person? And at first I'm thinking like, I don't know if I would want something around that took the life of somebody I love. But then at the same time, I'm like,
hmm.
that's what the memorial is, a celebration of the loss of somebody that we love. Like, make it, at
Right.
first I was, after a while, I'm like, I don't think that's a great illustration. Like,
That, yeah,
maybe you
exactly.
should go to the index or the reference book, search illustrations, and then just take one that was already provided, because
Right.
this isn't working. So, yeah, it would be little things like that, too, that I wouldn't
Yeah.
agree with. Like, I don't agree that everyone should have been required to go out and fill service, period, because let's be frank, not everybody is suited for that. Some people are great at it, some people are not.
Hmm.
So just like the public speaking, some people should have been educating and some people should not.
Yeah.
So just a lot of things that were unregulated, obviously, um, that just didn't make sense, and it just made the process really clunky, you know.
Yeah, definitely. That's just how it is, man. That's the
This
it's
is
and it's
how
it's
they do it.
and it's called an organization.
That's right.
What is the definition of organization, right? And they're using that word proudly and not
Proud.
backing it up.
Nope.
It is.
I feel
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like I looked up the definition of organized, but I looked at it from the word stem perspective. And I feel like I came across a really interesting like epiphany about the word. Like I actually was going through and breaking down baptism or baptize from the word stem perspective, right? So
Hmm.
I learned about word stems a lot from when my daughter was in middle school, and just how our language evolves, right? So within words that we use is not only Spanish, but you go back to the Latin or Greek or the Arabic
Yeah.
terms or sounds, and you use those definitions and you merge them together as a word. And I was pretty baffled at what some of the words meant in general when it comes to organized religion or the Christian religions. So, yeah, if you haven't done a deep dive, I would say that that's a cool thing, especially for people who like words.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not ran like it should be.
I'm actually working on a video right now. That I actually wow, it's so funny. An hour ago, I was looking into it. Organized religion, that term,
Really?
and now Jesus was pretty much against it. So I was like, I was studying it, and I'm making a video about it. I don't want to like spoil it, but yeah, it's in the works. I
That's
will
what's up.
spoil something. The title are Jehovah's Witnesses the Antichrist. So I am working on that video. There's a lot of information, the Book of Revelation, First John, basically those scriptures are like key and Daniel, and those are key to explain what the Antichrist is, what the beast is, what the dragon is, what the two witnesses are. If you guys don't know any of that information, because I know when I was a witness, they like touched on it, but it wasn't really in depth. It wasn't like I didn't really understand it, and now I do.
Right.
So I'm working on that. It's freaking. I'm not trying to show off, but it's freaking amazing right now.
I
I
love
can't
it.
wait to. I'm working on a different approach with my videos, just because I like how, or I know a lot of people liked my last video. I'm like, what the freak, man? Why are you guys liking videos that are harder to make? So I'm here for you guys. So I don't
I love
care if
it.
I have to struggle. So I'm doing that. I'm doing a different approach with my videos, just because you guys like it. Shaq Composer, what's up, my man? Long time. He has a joke here. It says, "Why do they call it a memorial of Jesus when? Wait, is it a joke? Why do they call it a memorial of Jesus when he is alive and ruling as king?" It's so true. He's alive and well. It's the same thing with 1914. 1914 is a date that Jesus supposedly was enthroned as king. But in Matthew, I believe it was chapter 28, verse 19. No, it wasn't 2019. That's actually the baptism. Um, when Jesus was resurrected, he said that he's king. He says that all authority was given to him on heaven and on earth. That's when he was king. So it's true. Thank you, Shaq Composer, for sharing that. He has not been waiting 2,000 years to be king in 1914. That just be ridiculous. Um,
Well,
let's see
he
here.
had to wait. He had to wait at Jehovah's right hand. Then Jehovah handed it over to him. Let's not forget, the devil's always in the details with Jehovah's Witnesses. They are so crafty at adding certain words or phrases or leaving them out, such as it's okay to greet a
Mhm.
disfellowship person. They didn't say talk to. They didn't say reach out to everyone that you know that's disfellowship and bombard their email and text messages. And
Mhm.
no, they said you can greet them.
Uh, I had a glimpse of you at the congregation giving a comment just now. The way you're all like soft spoken and honest. Oh
Yeah,
man.
that was me with the comments. Absolutely. I was one of those I didn't do a lot of the commenting as if like my hand was always up. You know those people whose like hand is like straight up, or they put a watchtower in their hand when they're trying to get called on. So
Hmm.
annoying. But yeah, I have heard people say that when I was in their congregations that they loved my comments. They thought I was a pioneer based off of my comments and stuff like that. But that's just my natural ability. You know, that's just who I am when I speak, and it's fun. I think it's fun to be able to
And you
do that.
transitioned. You went from soft spoken, honest, to freaking rallying up a bunch of people at a protest. Now, did you have that energy when you were in there, when you were going door to door? Like, what? That I'm pretty sure that energy came from a lot of anger, wasn't it?
Um, it didn't necessarily come from anger. It came from it was necessary. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was a personal passion of mine, and I know that when I'm either participating in something that is very important, or I'm actually the one orchestrating or leading that experience, it's very important to connect with your audience, right? And this
Yeah.
isn't something that you learn strictly from the hall. If you've ever done any corporate speaking, or if you do seminars, or if you even like are a member of like an organization called Toastmasters, which is a national organization that helps people with their public speaking, they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be able to let you know how to go about doing that. So I was channeling really the pain of everybody that was there, because I had met a lot of people who lost loved ones. Like, I personally met these individuals. I personally got to talk to them. So I personally have never lost someone to suicide as a result of them being shunned. But that didn't mean I couldn't feel
Mm.
that anguish and that pain. For You can't get those lives back. You
Right.
know, that's one thing that pissed me off when they made the announcement talking about we don't have to apologize. There's no need for us to apologize. Excuse me? How are you going to preach to me not just being a peacemaker, but I should be pursuing peace? To pursue means to chase after. How is it that you can tell me that I need to leave my gift at the altar and then go and make peace with somebody whom I perceive to have, they have something against me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then you're going to sit up there and change policy and say there's no need to apologize? Like,
Right.
literally, that set me on fire, because that's so not fair.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about, like, they can never make amends fully or even come close for the family members, friends, colleagues,
There's no coming back.
neighbors. There's no coming back from that. You know what I'm saying? And according to what we were taught, if you commit suicide, you don't even get a resurrection,
I remember that.
right? So how do you not apologize for misrepresenting the word of God and causing catastrophe and havoc in people's lives to that degree? That baffles me, and it goes back to what you were saying, that they don't fucking care. They
Yeah.
don't.
Nope. And yep. Chronicles of Lucy. Thank you. Preach on. It's true. And you got me. And I felt something too that day when you were yelling and chanting, but it was because I was next to the speaker.
Oh,
So,
you got all of it.
so
Like,
I got all the vibrations, all the hairs on my neck stood up.
oh,
But I mean, it was awesome. Like, you literally woke people up in
yeah,
a literal sense and a spiritual sense. And that's what we need in this next protest coming up. And I'm
yes,
hoping that you can present again and you can speak and wake more people up. I'm definitely going to be involved more this year. I hope. I've been talking to Mr. Washington, and he's he's been keeping in touch with me. I'm hoping to be more involved in the video department, hopefully.
okay,
Um, but before we wrap things up, I wanted to discuss real quick your journey now. Now that you're out of the organization, anything positive that you want to mention? How things are going for you? Please feel free to
yes.
share.
So I have a couple of positive things that I have going on, and they just come from a place of things that I always wanted to do. I'm not big on making up for the lost time. Once I got over that headspace, that was beneficial for me. That allowed me to be more present. I realized that having been a Jehovah's Witness, the present often gets neglected because you're so focused on the future, the future, the future. And then now coming out of it and waking up, it's very easy to stay in the past, the past, the past. So either way I was going, I was missing out on the now. So I decided to pursue my passions, things that make me happy. So I do some modeling. So that has been fun. You know, I've walked a couple of runways, got a comp car, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Leslie, well, I'm coming up that way, so I will let you know. I'm also in the process of writing a series of books. Like I mentioned before, I'm a poet. So I'm going to be releasing 3 books that speak about the different experiences that I have on topics like love and sex and fornication, and then the parental alienation, and then just all those thoughts that a lot of us have had that we never got to express. So I do that in a very poetic way, and then also adding in some statistics and facts and some documents and journals from a mental health perspective. So it's just a collaborative experience with the book. I didn't want to make it geared towards any one group or demographic. I try to just speak off of the human experience that is. Okay. So that's really exciting for me to actually be an author, right? To put myself, my private thoughts, my creativity out there, you know, for the world, and hopefully just either inform or inspire somebody. That's really what the objective is. And then I own a business with my partner. So we actually started that as entrepreneurs, and then we're getting ready to spearhead the nonprofit, which is going to be able to help and provide resources to all of us, right? And anyone that has come out of a situation that was abusive, especially if it was religiously based. So that's really what I'm excited about, you know, is that nonprofit and being able to speak more. I've always wanted to get into activism. I really have. I love sharing my voice, and that's just like the home for me, is that place of helping people and just really wanting to connect with them, to let them know that they're not alone, that they're okay, like this huge camaraderie feeling, you know, in that space. And I've always been that way. That was a strength that I brought into the organization that they leveraged. And so now I'm just leveraging that for myself and choosing how I want to go about sharing that talent and that passion. So yeah, those are quick hits, along with other things. Like I locked my hair up. I would have never done that before. I'm getting ready to go blonde. Like I'm doing that. I'm planning a whole sleeve tattoo. So I'm excited about that.
I got earrings now. So
right. I love it. It's like, hey, I'm about to do this. So a lot of cool things, just experiencing life, you know, really for the first time, and being okay with it. Because sometimes it's great, and then sometimes it still sucks, right? Because this is life. But it's nice to know that I have freedom of control as to what I want to do about the highs and the lows.
That's amazing, and I'm glad that you got to share that, because it's the positive vibe that I got off of you, and I'm hoping that everyone got off of you. And I'm glad that you can be open with yourself, express yourself in a way you couldn't before. And it's important that you tell us that, because a lot of people are afraid. And that was the thing I was going to tell you. If you had any advice for any PMOs that want to get out, they can. I mean,
yeah, they can.
I mean, what would you tell them? For any PMO that's thinking, okay, I got to get out of here. I know this is all BS. Where do I go from here? What would you tell them?
Well, I think it's important to strategize, because each situation is different, right? Whether you're single or married, or if you have children, especially minor children. Some people I know are still in because they come from a long line of spiritual heritage, right? And so it's one thing to be cast out, so to speak, but then it's another thing to exit, because they're both looked at the same, right? Whether you disassociate and walk away, or you get disfellowship. So I would say definitely literally writing down a plan or a strategy for how you're going to out yourself, because that's what we did. Not to, you know, it's similar to the experience I would imagine as someone in the LGBTQ community finally coming out with their truth. You're going to experience some loneliness. You're going to experience some criticism, some judgment. You're going to experience some love bombing. You're going to experience some hate. So doing research on that as well is what I would recommend, just what to expect. Again, secondary, having that exit plan. Like, don't blow up your living arrangements because you wanted to get out and now you don't have nowhere to live. Like, start planning your exit strategy, and then definitely go to therapy and let it all out. And this is particular for the men, because women, we typically don't have that same struggle of going and talking about our problems. But for the men, please, please, please go to therapy, because I'm watching somebody who's a man who's come out of it, and it's hard. It's hard. You guys have so many different issues or concerns that we as women don't have. So definitely having a third party, a group of guy friends that you can have, camaraderie with, open, honest conversations, all of that is going to be beneficial to the mind. And that's what you need, is the mindset, the strength, the mental strength to be able to come up out of it. So pump yourself up, do those mental exercises, learn about yourself, start to become aware, emotionally intelligent. Literally, it takes some deep work, but if you start it now, then you'll be better off when you actually fully transition out. Because don't allow yourself to be trapped for too long. That's all I would say. Just if you already know you need to go, it's time to put your money where your mouth is. It's like piss or get off the pot at this point. You know what I'm saying? And then if you're grown, sometimes it's just like, man, forget it. Y'all better take me as I am. This is who I am.
Yeah.
So a different variety of methods that they can employ based off of the situation. Mine was different, obviously coming from my space. So I can't really say what you should or shouldn't do. Right? I'm going to play the elder card right now. I mean, I can't tell you, but that's an honest, true statement, right? I can't say what you should or shouldn't do. I can definitely advocate for therapy, and I can definitely advocate for an exit plan strategy, like with a roadmap. Like, in 3 months, I'm going to have accomplished these things, and the next 3 months, I'm going to do this. Like, map it out for yourself. And if you have children, just talk to them. Talk to them, talk to them, talk to them. Please don't play them like they're dumb. They know, they feel the energy, they feel the shift, and put it in terms that they'll be able to understand and cope with, because they're going to need therapy too. They're going to need a lot of support if you leave and they decide to stay, maybe with the other parent. So work it out as best as you can, and just put your mental health first. Start putting yourself first.
Amazing. My advice isn't as great as that one, but I like to say, you are a PME. I'm sorry, a PMO, right? And you want to leave, but you're not sure. You can do this as well. Lie to the others.
Facts.
Tell them that you need some time for yourself to heal emotionally. That helps. They may ask a brother or two to go and visit you once in a while. Just go with the flow. Don't make yourself out to be someone who is questioning, because you will be ousted. You will lose everything.
You'll be blackballed.
You're supposed to be someone who believes in Jehovah and Jesus, correct? It doesn't matter if you say you believe in Jehovah and Jesus. That does not matter, because it's the organization that comes first. Always remember that. The governing body comes first. So even if you doubt the governing body, but you have complete faith in Jehovah and Jesus, you'll still be canned. So lie. And, like, Ivy said, have a strategy, financial strategy, even seek out friendships or people to speak to who are outside the organization that can give you advice. Make friends with people outside first, and then work your way out. What I did was it still didn't work out for me because I did it wrong. But find yourself another Kingdom Hall, have your cards transferred. Have them transferred over to that Kingdom Hall, speak with the elders there, maybe once to get them to know you. And then once your cards are over there, never show up. Never, don't even give them your phone number. If they end up asking for your phone number, or your elders end up giving them your phone number, which is 100% probably going to happen, that's fine. If they call you, ignore the phone call. If they text you, ignore the text messages. They can't do anything. They can't disfellowship you. They can't disassociate you unless you say, oh, sorry, I haven't gotten your call. I'll go to the next meeting. And you show up, and then they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. Where have you been? Why aren't you going to the meetings? And then it's just going to go all down from there. Just lie.
The
That
crazy
lie.
thing is now they're being super nice. I actually had somebody like they're doing a little bit of an experiment. And bro, they are so desperate right now. They are like rolling out the red carpet. Oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter. We just, Jehovah loves you. Literally, they were so supportive and so like, we really want to get you back on. I always felt some type of way about this fellowship and arrangement. We miss you. It was really hard for me not to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all the things. They gonna, yeah.
Yeah.
So even, just keep your business to yourself. They don't need to know your
They don't
intimate
have,
private
and they're
business.
gonna try
There's
their
no,
best.
they're no one. They hold no weight in needing to know that information. And if you do something that feels wrong in your conscience, or you feel it's wrong by the God that you serve and your higher power, whoever that may be, guess what? Talk to them about it. You don't need to talk to nobody else about it. Confess your sins to that deity or whatever and keep it
Right.
moving.
A lot of us like XJWs have gone at different paths. Some have been apostate. Some have been atheists. Some agnostics. Some followers of Christ. Um,
Buddhists.
yeah, like they're everywhere. But it doesn't matter at this point. If you believe that the thing you're worshiping is a god or a deity and it's something higher than, don't worry about what you might be doing to disrespect that thing, because leaving the organization is actually respecting that thing. Respect,
Right.
because that thing isn't a part of that organization at all. So you're actually doing that thing a favor and making him happy, because that organization is literally the devil. And you may be looking at us like, well, you guys are crazy, the devil. It is. Just do your research. But anyway,
So
um,
listen, MJ, I like what you said. So I want to ask two questions. You don't have to answer them now. No one has to answer them now, but they are perspectives or questions that I heard that I was like, oh my gosh, I never thought about it before. So the first thing is based off of the Bible history that we were taught,
mhm,
Jehovah confused the languages, right?
mhm,
So language is a cultural thing, right? Culturally, you're going to have a belief system. Why would Jehovah do that and confuse people and not allow them to stay connected and still have the same unified thought based off of language? Because now you have symbolisms, you have metaphors, you have different things that people are trying to explain in a way
mhm.
that they could explain it. So that's one question that I want everybody to ponder. Like, is it possible? The second question is, what if at one time, because I've had this conversation with people trying to get me to come back, and I said, is it possible? You want to give me all these scriptures and the history and this and that. Is it possible? Just like with the nation of Israel, and just like with Jesus when it came to the Jews, that maybe Jehovah's Witnesses once had God's spirit, but it's left the building. It's plausible, right?
They had all the potential. Yeah.
So why are we acting like these things aren't possible and you're expecting me to stick to something that you can't even fully verify? So I thought those were good thought provoking questions that someone has shared with me who has left. And I said, wow, that just adds more critical thinking and more questions that they can't answer, which means you don't have the truth.
So true. I never thought about that. That's so true, because before you even said that, I've been thinking this whole time, if it started out, I mean, if it ended the way it's ending now with a bad spirit, then it started with a bad spirit. But who knows? It might
That's
have
right.
been a good spirit. It might have been something God really wanted and was up for it. But
And he tried with this group and they failed again.
yeah, I mean, it
He said deuces.
these damn Israelites.
Right. He's like, y'all are getting on my nerves. You are misrepresenting me. You are doing nothing for my brand. I'm done with y'all.
If you follow my channel, then you know who I believe in and what I believe. So if you're interested, visit my channel. Let's shout out Ivy. Do you mind me showcasing your TikTok?
Oh, absolutely not. Go for it. I mean, I'm not active on there that much, but
Mm, that's okay. I mean,
I'm not
you.
good like you, MJ. I'm trying. I'm learning.
I have some TikToks out there too that I'm actually working on a new one. It's gonna be pretty funny. So by the way, before I showcase this TikTok, is there any other platform, any social network that anyone can reach you at? If for any
Yeah.
reason they want to just follow or even ask questions.
Yeah. So I have, I hate to say it, but I have several
Okay.
Instagrams. So I'm just gonna do the main two because I have a business one as well. If you
Okay.
follow one page, you'll be able to toggle and find the others. So my first Instagram page. Oh look. So listen, my first Instagram page is what you see here for Snapchat, which is just Rita. So
Okay.
you can follow me on there as well. The second video in where I'm just constantly posing and stuff, that is hilarious, seeing myself on camera. But anyways, the second one will be the same way, like underscore, but it'll say free FREE and then IVY, like the plant.
Mm.
So those are my two Instagram pages. One you have to request, one is open to the public. So
So you said
that's
it's
how that goes.
basically it's like that, right?
Now you
But
know
on
your
Instagram.
screen is super small
Oh my
and I cannot
man.
see.
Do you want me to show them the Instagram?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I will do that.
Like you had me
Um
up here at the camera like somebody's grandma. Like what is happening, MJ?
hey, listen.
Zoom.
Um
Like I'm old, man.
and you're on your phone, so that makes it worse. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. Okay.
It's okay, my friend.
Where the heck is the search bar on Instagram, bro?
Are you on a laptop?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you said underscore for Rita, right?
Free Ivy.
I mean Ivy.
Yeah.
Jesus,
I
wrong.
took back my maiden last name after I ditched the dead weight.
There it is. Okay. Ooh, look at the pictures.
So yeah, it's basically my motto page.
I'm gonna just go and be a little. Yes, girl, slay.
I know, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing what I can out here in these streets. Thank you.
Oh man. So
My
free
partner
Ivy.
actually encouraged me to model, so I'm really thankful I had somebody in my corner pushing me and giving me the positive affirmations like, do it, do it, do it. So I had to step out there. So everybody just step out there. It doesn't have to be perfect at all, but it's fun to just bet on yourself and have a good time.
Heck yeah. I have some before we head out. I have some comments that I started. I have 8 of them that we can go through.
Okay.
This guy's this burnt offerings said enjoyed your story at White House lawn. Ivy shunning is inhumane.
Thank you. Burnt
You're gonna be
offerings. I
known for
love
that now.
it. I know.
Jay says I'm a little afraid of accidentally making a YouTube video or something happened on YouTube yesterday. I forget what that was. I think it was me talking about my YouTube channel. Um, and no, don't be afraid, man. Just go be all. My very first video. I don't know if any of y'all seen my very first video. It was literally not meant for YouTube. It was just for me to. That's what you have to do. Record yourself. The minute you start questioning the doctrine and you feel like the elders are just, freaking a messed up version of Barney, just like, just record yourself and see if you're crazy. Prove yourself right because that's the best medicine. And then go from there. And if it's something that you do, after watching yourself, you do realize, you are in the right, then hey, go all out with it. Because a lot of people go through therapy because they think they're crazy. Ivy went through therapy. I went through therapy. A lot of people go through therapy. I jumped out of a car attempting to kill myself. Everybody goes through stuff.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid.
Yes.
Oh, yep, I already said that. Why do bet? Oh yeah, we did that one. I did that one. Yes, Chronicles. I do not believe in anything that Jews. That's the alcohol.
As I blame
I
it on
don't believe in
alcohol.
anything that the JWs forced into my infant brain. The deconstruction is so healing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
I have a couple of books that help me deconstruct. Do you have some, MJ? Like, did you take to any books that you kind of found like that was mentally soothing for you?
The only thing that I read was Crisis of Conscious, and I didn't even read all of it. I literally just read like the first two pages. I didn't even get into it that much, but it helped, and it helped also watching his interviews.
Okay.
Um, but other than that, like anything, not really. No.
Okay.
Do you have anything?
Well, I'm a very exploratory person, right? So the first book that I think I got as I was starting to kind of wake up is this book called The Seat of the Soul.
The
So
Seat
that
of the
one,
Soul.
The Seat of the Soul. So that has an interesting perspective, right, on life. And then how energy transforms or how things, happen to certain people or whatever.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit of your Eastern thinking, a little bit more than your Western philosophies. I
Okay.
also read a book called The Four Agreements. Super small, super simple book, but it's profound. And then the Seven Laws of Spiritual Success. That is more or less like a Buddhist type of book, but it's still really small, quick hits. I actually got both the Four Agreements and the Seven Spiritual Laws from like a Five Below. So that was really cool. So I do recommend those books for people to read. They're really fun and interesting to read because we weren't really encouraged to look at other books or other sources. The making of many books, right? There's no end. And that's been really good because they're just spiritual books that talk about the mindset and the programming and the downloads and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, they're pretty cool.
All right. So what were the names again, so I can write them down? And
Look at you,
I'm gonna put it
Mr.
in the chat.
Tipsy.
No, no. It's
No,
it's.
I'm teasing. I'm
I just
teasing.
want to make sure I get the title right. It was seven.
Seven
What
spiritual
was
laws of success, and they're not religious books. They're just books on thinking and perspective.
and then the other one was
The Four Agreements.
the Four Agreements.
Hmm.
What the heck is going on here? Okay, and is that a number or a word? Four.
Four, Four.
Okay, and the Four Agreements. Um, did I spell agreements wrong? Yes, I did. And then Four Agreements of what?
It's just called The Four Agreements.
Why can't I spell that right? Is it Agreedments?
Two E's.
Yeah, I put two E's and it's saying
Agreements.
yeah. I put it and it says it's spelled wrong.
Technology is technology. I don't know. They don't want you to put a period after it as if it's grammatically incorrect. Like, who
And
knows?
you said soul of the seat or something like that.
I did say seat of the soul. Your
Seat.
Spanish is kicking in. The soul
Yes,
of
it
the
is.
seat. Yes, I love it. Same
Everything's
difference.
backwards.
Or is it backwards, right?
Mm, that's when
Mm.
Jehovah mixed up all the languages.
You hear me? Dudes causing confusion and havoc just with language.
Um, Ruby says there might be protests in Tampa in August. Do you know anything about that?
I don't, but I would love to know more. So please hit
Okay.
me up with that.
All right. And Jay just had mentioned that the governing body don't care about the rank and file except for what they can give them, and that was when I was discussing about the issues that we had with the elders not giving a crap about you.
Yes.
And yeah, it's true. It's very sad. And those are all of the comments I had highlighted it. Highlighted it. You hear what I'm
Perfect.
saying? Highlighted it. That I
Listen,
highlighted.
it's whatever happens live stays
Stays
live.
live.
But I will say too, like you started off the show with the information about the protest. We definitely want to shout out Be Free because we're so grateful that movement has started here in the United States. So keep sharing, everybody, and don't just share with the XJW community. We are a niche group within a niche,
Yeah.
right? So we need to make sure that we get our family members are. I almost said unbelieving. Whew. The unlearning is there.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that they're aware of it. So MJ has this link here that will be able to. They can fill it out to share their story. They need to share what their issue is with Jehovah's Witnesses, what the impact has done to them, especially for any of our allies, right? Medical professionals, mental health professionals, school teachers, principals. Like, if you've had any contact with a Jehovah's Witness at all, anesthesiologist, whatever, no blood. If you are in a suicide type of arena where you're talking about that, all of these issues affect all of us. That's why it's a human rights issue and not just a religious issue. But we're going to be sharing that because the numbers is what matters the most. And then Be Free right now has a Google Docs form that'll be circulating and going around for people to register for the protests. So then that way she can have numbers and have enough security, because we want to be safe and respectful with the protest. This is not a raging rampage. This is to show up so we can get the attention of the people who make the laws for allowing these type of things to happen. And also we want them to question, where is all the money? This is a nonprofit organization, and you have 9 board members living for free healthcare, free personal, free living, free, like, think about it. They don't have jobs, people. You know what I'm saying? So they have factored in their salaries somehow, some way, into justifying this money that the government is giving them. But we need to go apply for welfare or go to First Methodist if we need any help with utilities or anything like that, right? So we definitely want the governments to check that out. So those are 2 things: the news outlet, which is national. We want to hear from everybody that's been impacted. And then also the intake form. So then that way we know if you're coming. Even if you're not coming, fill out the form. Say no, yes, no, maybe. Fill it out. It's like 5 questions. What city, state you coming from? Are you going? Do you want to volunteer? Have you been affected by any one of these issues? It's literally that simple. So please fill that out. I know Be Free wants us to create a Eventbrite page as well, so we can continue to spread it outside of us. So more details to come. September 13th is a Friday, 2024. That's when the Be Free is shooting to have the protest. So we want to continue to push the protest. MJ made some fabulous points early on in the video, which you can follow up and share those with people. But it's really important, you guys. It's really, really important. There's a lot of silenced voices. There's a lot of people in pain. As MJ said, a lot of us have tried to end our lives, because of the doubt, the lack of feeling worthy, the loss of self and sense of purpose. I mean, the list goes on. So please share with people who don't know the issues and the struggles. That's what's going to get us where we want to go.
Awesome. Definitely.
And if Be Free will have me, I will definitely make an appearance and speak this year if Be Free will have me.
And just so everyone is clear, the she that you're speaking of is Miss Usato, correct?
I know Be Free. I don't know any of that other stuff.
So yeah, it's Miss Usato. Well, she's just a writer for Avoid JW, but she also had a hand in the Be Free thing.
Okay.
And where is it? What can we find? What? Oh, yeah. There's no information out right now, right?
Right. We haven't started marketing it just yet, but we can all share that form. In the form, it has at the top the reason for the protest, the date for the protest, and the location. So we have a Facebook group called Liberated Consciousness. If you request to join that group, we're going to be posting information in there, keeping updates, things like that. So feel free to join Liberated Consciousness on Facebook. It's a group. And then that way you can be in the know, get the links, be able to publicize it with other people, share it on all your platforms and things like that. So we appreciate the inquiry and the support for sure. Be Free will be happy.
And it's the Liberated Consciousness or
just Liberated Consciousness.
Okay, okay. I found the Liberated Consciousness. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming it is this one with the face for the banner.
Screen share for me. Does it look like somebody go? Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is it, guys. You can find all your information from here. Oh, look, see, Rita is an admin. All right, so um, that's all the information that we needed to address to you guys. I am very sorry, Jay, for feeling suicidal for about a year.
Yeah.
Like that's what this channel is all about. It's so that you know that you're not the only one that goes through these or have these thoughts. I was
Yeah.
told that I'm not the first and I'm never the last. Always remember that. And
Yeah.
if you feel like you're suicidal, um, just know, and if it's because of the organization, just know you're actually, it's the opposite of what you think. You are one person out of 8 million that left the organization. So instead of feeling like you're the loser or the ugly duckling, you're actually incredibly special because you are one person out of 8 million that got to see through the facade. So you should feel incredibly special for that. You need a pat on the back.
Yes. And then relying on each other, it's good to have at least one other person that you can talk to, even if that's, not a therapist. Because let's face it, therapy's not cheap.
Yep.
But if you have someone in your life like MJ, or if you know me personally, or anyone else that has really allowed themselves to go through the feels, come to terms with the feels, and then be able to progress through that to healing, definitely keep those individuals close to you because they will definitely be good checkpoints for your reality, right,
Yeah.
MJ? Initially, you're like, I'm literally going crazy, but you're not. It's just the unlearning is really hard.
Yeah. It was a lot, man. I could sit here for days.
Facts, bro. Facts.
Um, but Jay, go straight up and make that YouTube, man. I'm anxious to see your face that is not just this little face. And also feel free,
Yeah.
you guys. I have a phone number on my channel. It is in my bio. Feel free to text me on that. You can also send me an email. Once again, this is Ivy. I shared her TikTok information, her Instagram information, and her Facebook group information. Um, if there's anything else, Ivy, that you would like to share, please feel free to do so. If not, I will kick you backstage.
You are so funny. So, two things.
Yep.
I want to shout out my partner because my partner is the one that is like behind the scenes helping with all of this. My partner actually was really diligent about connecting me and MJ. So that's been really cool. So I want to shout out my silent partner. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you're ever in Tampa, anyone, Tampa Bay area, Orlando, or whatever the case may be, hit me up. If we have an opportunity to connect, that would be super cool. And just show you a good time in some beautiful places, here by the water. So
Heck
that's
yeah.
it for me. MJ, again, thank you for having me. And hopefully this has been fun and
Yeah.
helpful
Oh,
to,
yeah.
our viewers here today.
It's been fun, at least for me. Um,
I
and I
mean,
hope it's been
my
fun.
cup's empty. You
Yeah,
too.
mine's done,
Exactly.
and my beer is done as well. So
Yo, you gonna have a good night. All
I'm
right.
just drinking water now because it's what you know.
You do. That's right. You
It's
gotta
what you
stay
do.
hydrated.
Thank, thank you, Ivy, for coming on. I appreciate you. Appreciate all that you've done for the protest as well. The speech that you gave. Appreciate your time being on here, expressing yourself once more. You are very natural and raw, which is what I love on this show. Just
Yeah.
because I am also natural and raw, but I also screw up. But
Listen,
anyway,
we all do. Come on now.
I also want to give thanks to all you guys who joined on, all you wonderful, beautiful, smart, intelligent, critical thinking people that are
Yes.
on. Thank you for joining on. And for those who are not on live, who are watching this video right now, whether it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day you're in, I appreciate you for sacrificing your time to watch this, for sitting here for 2 hours watching this video. We are at 1:59, an hour and 59
Look
minutes,
at
which is
that.
awesome. We're shutting it down exactly at 2 hours. I love it. That's all I have to say. I guess I'll end it with my famous outro. This is MJ in context. Take care, stay safe, and remember, you can't make this up. Peace out, everyone. Good night, Ruby. Bye, everybody. So